Hey everyone, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone's doing well. Before we get started with this video, I wanted to talk about a few things. First of all, the main purpose of this video is not only to discuss this horrible disappearance, but also to discuss the circumstances surrounding it. So I want to preface this video by sending out my condolences to the family and my prayers and thoughts, and I just can't imagine what they went through. After reading this and talking with some of you guys, actually it was you that all brought this case to my attention, I just couldn't believe what this family has gone through over there in England, and I've never covered a case quite like this before. I have talked about this in various videos with you all, and that is, it is one thing to discuss cases, give your opinion in a professional or calm manner. It's another thing to actually go and insert yourself into an actual investigation or search and rescue effort without being asked by the family or the various search and rescue teams, what have you. In this particular case, the case of Nicola Bulley, I read that there were people that actually went to various buildings there, broke into places. This case, via the media, social media, whatever, just seemed to get out of control very quickly, especially in England, but also worldwide. People were picketing the streets, and I'm going to have some pictures up of this, but all that does is make the investigation harder. It makes it harder for the family. I understand that when we don't have answers, it's human nature to sort of want to have a scapegoat or find the answer. That said, people can't just go around being vigilantes and breaking the law themselves, making things worse. This particular case, that actually did happen. There were reports of people breaking into various buildings, people hanging out in various people's backyards at night, stalking people. I mean, just terrible things. Like I said, false accusations towards friends and family, things that did not help this investigation whatsoever. Worse, the newspapers, and according to the reports, various TikTok users and influencers were making up all these false claims, made absolutely no sense, that weren't accurate, that just really upset the family even more. And I can empathize with them. I can't even imagine. This poor woman who was the center of their world was a wonderful woman, a very kind person. Everyone that knew her loved her, disappears. Not only are you dealing with the worry and heartbreak of that, but then you have to worry about the media falsely accusing you of things, various people that you've never even met accusing you of things. It's just awful. And that woman who disappeared is Nicola Bulley. She is a 47-year-old woman, was living in the northern part of England. I'm going to have some maps up here as always. She was a very loving mother. She worked as a mortgage advisor. She was the heart and soul of her family. Everybody loved her. This is one of the police handouts that they were giving after she disappeared on January 27th of this year, 2023. The day started out like any other. She had dropped her kids off at school, and she was taking her dog named Willow out for a walk in the St. Michael's area on the River Wire. Now, I'm sure that I might have pronounced that wrong. I apologize if so. I'm going to have some maps up and some pictures of the actual river, but that was the actual last time she was seen. This is a small town in northern England, very calm, very quaint. This is the River Wire that she'd been walking her dog by that morning. Her family became concerned when she didn't return. Her dog Willow was also found running off its leash. It was concerning when other people in the area that were walking their dogs, they also became aware of something possibly wrong when a man sat down and discovered a cell phone on the bench right next to the river. This happened to be Nikki's cell phone. This launched a big investigation by the local police. They had roughly 40 detectives on the case. However, like I've already mentioned, because of various misinformation given by the news, various influencers getting involved, it just created a mess. And unfortunately, that did harm the investigation. At some point, for whatever reason, the police or the authorities involved were pressuring the family to give out personal information about Nikki that was completely irrelevant. I don't know why they did this, but this just caused more problems, more hurt for the family, which is just, of course, awful. At the end of the first week, they brought in divers to start searching the Wire River. I'm going to have another map up to show you this area because I'm not that familiar with England, but here's the St. Michael's area on the Wire River. The authorities believe that one of the reasons this case garnered so much attention is because usually in England, most people are found within the first 48 hours. Only roughly 5% are not found, and unfortunately Nikki fell into the latter category. When they did bring in those divers, after searching for several weeks, they eventually did find remains. They were able to identify those remains as Nikki's remains, unfortunately. The Lancashire Police Department said that they located the remains roughly 1 mile or 1.6 kilometers away from the area that Nikki had been last seen walking her dog and where the cell phone was found on the bench. Those are the facts of the case. That's what we know. All this other stuff you may have read or heard, the facts are that this woman went walking with her dog on the morning of January 27th, a thing that she did very often. She had dropped her kids off. She was in a loving relationship. She had a great job working as a mortgage advisor. She went walking this morning and disappeared. It's very bizarre and confusing. A lot of people, including the Lancashire Police Department, wanted to say that, oh, she probably just fell into the river. How does that happen when you're walking your dog? And why would her cell phone be on the bench? Did she just go over to look at the river? It just is a little bit confusing. And I know that a lot of you are already familiar with this case, but I think one of the big issues was the main police investigators in the case were very quick to just sort of say, oh, it is this, and they weren't really investigating other avenues. I know that can be very upsetting to any family involved in any type of disappearance. In this particular case, just sadly, this has created a huge distrust between those local people in that town and their authorities. Again, I don't live there. I don't know exactly what happened, just some of the reports that I've read, and it just sounds awful. Many of you are probably asking, so what did happen to Nikki on that morning? The answer is I don't know, and I don't know if anybody knows yet. I know the police have theories, I know they're working on it, but that's their job to come up with what happened, look for evidence. I know that it's been very frustrating for the family, and I know that they want their privacy, so I just hope and pray that between them and the authorities, they can find out what happened to their loved one. I want to dedicate this video to Nicola Bulley, her family, her friends. I hope and pray you find the answers as to what happened to Nikki. You find peace in your hearts with this. I am so sorry for your loss, and I'm so sorry for everything else that you've had to go through. Wishing you peace, love, and happiness. I also hope that people can learn from this case. They can learn that there are proper ways of going about things, that people shouldn't just insert themselves into an investigation without being asked to. And I know it's everyone's desire to want to help, but there are proper ways of going about it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for all your wonderful support. Please stick with me to the end for some announcements. Special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. I know this video is a little different, but I really felt it was necessary to discuss some of these things because after reading about just the craziness that went on over there, I just felt it necessary to talk to you all about it. And I would definitely like to hear your thoughts, not only about the case, but if you read about it further, just let me know your thoughts. For those of you that are new to the channel, I just wanted to say welcome. For those of you that have donated to the channel, I just want to say thank you. But I also really do need some extra help. I always have my info in the description. Any donation, anything helps, and I love all your support. For those of you that are just joining the channel, I am a one-man show. I make all these videos from my cell phone. I don't have any fancy equipment or anything like that, so it does take me a little bit longer than probably the average person. I originally started doing that because I do hike a lot. I do a lot of things out west, so I wanted to be able to create content on the move for you all. Today's backpacking tip or hiking, camping tip is really quite simple. You'll notice that on your tents, whether it's an ultra lightweight tent or a regular tent, the zippers will often get hung up because of dirt, sand, and debris that gets in there, especially if you're doing something like a thru hike. One great thing to do is you could even use chapstick if you didn't have this. I use something called a boat stick. I'll have a picture of that. You just rub it on the zippers every now and then. It will greatly extend the lifetime of all your zippers. Not only on your tent, you can use it on other gear as well. It's odorless, it doesn't make a mess, and it just really prolongs the lifetime of those zippers. And let me tell you something, if you're out on trail, especially doing something like a long haul hike and your zippers break, oh, that's just a pain in the butt. Like I said, please let me know what gear you guys are using or what you loved in the past or anything that you might be trying out this year, this coming summer. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want suggestions on places possibly to visit. All right, y'all, see you in the next one. Take care.